Welcome to Obsession Engineering at the 2022 Baja International Tourist Cup. For the first two laps you're going to be riding on board with me, Dave Hewson. So here we go, into the first corner at the Baja International Tourist Cup. This is an off-camber downhill hairpin. It's quite tight, and what I'm looking for is the exit onto the main highway. Now that I'm on the highway, what I'm trying to do is get the throttle open for as long as possible, rev the bike all the way to the limiter in each gear and try and maximise my speed. The surface up the highway is really good, it's really smooth, and up here it's actually quite steep uphill, so I'm just trying to maximise the drive and I'm just trying to be nice and smooth with the bike and try and stay tucked in. Up here, I had 186 miles an hour on the dashboard, which related to a real 170 mile an hour on the GPS. So we've got these lovely long, sweeping, smooth corners where we can carry loads and loads of corner speed and really enjoy the flow of the circuit. This right-hander is the last big sweeping corner on the highway, and I can get a real nice drive off it by picking the throttle up, and you can see the wheel spin marks leaving the corner. Then I'm just going to fire it over this little left-hander kink, and through here all I'm looking for is my braking marker to brake into this tight hairpin. This hairpin's really tight. It goes up the camber there, and then I'm just trying to get the throttle open because after this little right-hand kink there's quite a big long straight, so I'm just trying to maximise my drive through here and just feeding the throttle into the bike. So we're up right now, trying to get the bike to go as fast as possible, and then just a little bit of a roll of the throttle and we're into this really long left-hand corner. Especially on this back road, I'm trying not to go over the yellow line too much because the yellow line's not particularly grippy, so if I can stay on one side of it, it's best. This is again nearly 170 miles an hour along here, and I'm just trying to look for the line to just carry as much speed as I can through this right and through the next left-hander. So through that little kink, I've got another little right-hander, and then I'm going to be onto the highest point in the circuit. So past the elevation sign, this is the peak of the circuit where the locals do a bit of drag racing by the looks of it. This next left-hander goes on for ages. Normally I would cut across the yellow line and get right into the left hand side for a really tight apex, but the surface is better on the right hand side, so I'm staying wide as long as I can. I'm right over near the yellow line, but I'm staying just wide of it. Through the canyon there, and then I'm looking for the rocks that stick out on the right hand side as my braking marker. So I'm off the throttle, brake, and into again another long left-hander, so I'm staying out fairly wide, and then just where that ranch entrance is, I'll just cross over the yellow line, square the corner off and get the bike stood up and really hard on the throttle. This is quite steep downhill, so I'm accelerating really hard down here and just really looking for the line for the next right-hander. So I'm going to brake into this right-hander, and again I'm going to stay tight through here. I'm going to stay really tight, and I even clipped these bushes on the inside a couple of times. So I'm staying tight so I don't have to keep crossing the yellow line while I've got lean angle on. Into this left, and this time I have crossed the line purely so I can get the bike stood up, square the corner off and drive it down towards this next left. It's another long left-hander. I'm going to hang it out for ages, and by the marshal point I'm just going to cross over the yellow line and then gas it. I've crossed over there so I can get the bike stood up and gassed harder. Eric likes the nice long sweeping line all the way around the outside. So through that little right-hand kink, past the ranch, over a bit of a jump, and then the next little kink right before we're looking for the line. Just looking right. Where's the road going to go? It's going to keep turning right, and then a little straight blast, and then left. Nice fast sweeping corner, nice and clean. Little bit of dirt on the exit there, but that's not a problem. This last few kilometres of the circuit are really fast. They're mostly downhill and they're just gathering momentum all the time. So we're coming up to the last little left-hander. It only looks like a kick, but at that speed the bike doesn't want to turn, so it's a big counter steer, and then we're over where the landslide had washed some of the dirt onto the circuit. It's still considerably grippier than the Ulster Grand Prix in the wet though, I can promise you that. So coming up towards the finish line, and that's a whole lap of the Baja International Tourist Cup. Lap 2, and we're going for helmet cam, and this time it's the same circuit, similar lap speed, but you'll see where I'm looking, where I'm turning my head to look through the corner and where I'm trying to get tucked behind the screen. It's all action, there's a lot of body movement here, and I spend a lot of my time trying to look through the corners and see as far ahead as possible. The BMW is building big speed down here and flies past Andy Gow on his little 400 Inja, no problem at all. You can see here I'm looking through the corner, planning ahead, trying to see as far ahead as possible so I can control my ride more. Past Eric Crouch here on his Panigale V4, he knew I was coming, so keeps out the way. a little bit of wheel spin over the remaining dirt, but it's not a problem, you're upright and it just makes it that little bit more exciting. There's a couple of places where there's humps and wallows, so you even get a little bit of airtime. This place is so much fun to ride. It's awesome. Lap 3, and we're going on board with Eric Wilson on his Obsession Engineering BMW S1000RR. This lap cemented Eric as the fastest man in Mexico as he lapped the 9.5 mile course at 4 minutes 43 seconds, which averages 126 miles an hour lap. That makes Eric faster around the Baja International Tourist Cup than he was around the Isle of Man TT. See how much the forks move over the bumps in the road, the Biturbo suspension working overtime but giving Eric a lovely plush feel. Most of the time. So our last lap is back on board with Eric Wilson on his S1000RR BMW. This rear-facing camera we only ran for the start of practice on the first day, so Eric may not be entirely up to pace, but he is still the fastest man on circuit. Yes, the circuit does look a little bit dusty in places. There had been a lot of storms a few weeks before, and the circuit team had done a really good job of clearing most of the debris. Compared to riding around the Ulster Grand Prix in the driving rain, this is better. The dirt doesn't move, you can definitely see it beforehand, and it stays consistent. Thumbs up for Mexico. Thank you for joining us for these onboard laps of the Baja International Tourist Cup 2022. We hope you've enjoyed the action and join us again soon for some more motorbike fun.